Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So on this one here, I want to talk about the ending of The Walking Dead Dead City Season 2, Episode 5, and also talk about whether or not that character is actually gone or not, because there's actually some interesting ideas when it comes to that. I mean, I know if you watch the trailer, it does seem obvious, but there's a few things about it. So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I apologize for not posting a lot of videos yesterday. I was actually in the process of moving and everything, and I still will be doing that over the next however long here, but yesterday was it was just a big day for all of that. So yeah, I was pretty busy all day, but I will be doing this video here, and then also later on, I will be breaking down the latest trailer or teaser trailer for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3, because they just actually released that. And yesterday The Walking Dead had one of the biggest Walking Dead Sundays in a very long time. I'm trying to think of the last time a Sunday was that big, and maybe I guess it was when The Ones Who Live was airing, right? To see Rick and Michonne actually reunite in that first episode, that was a really big moment. But The Walking Dead Dead City killed off a lot of characters, and then The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon released a really incredible trailer here, and the response to this show has been amazing, and also for Dead City as well. Everyone's been saying that episode 5 is their favorite, and yeah, I mean, honestly, just a really great response overall. But let's talk about what I wanted to get into here, and that is whether or not Dama is actually alive or not. So what happened in episode 5 was we saw Dama's potential death. I'm assuming that she's likely gone, but I will just say in terms of, how everything was done, it does seem like there's a chance that maybe she still is around, and it's because of other trailers and stuff where there's some scenes where it looks like, it's stuff that we haven't seen yet. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a second here. But what happened in episode 5 was the Croat and Dama were arguing a lot, I would say, in that episode, and it really got to the moment where I think for Negan, he realized that I could push Dama over the edge and maybe make things a little bit better for myself overall, because I think if we get rid of Dama, then, I'm able to somehow maybe, I guess work with the Croat, because he will listen to me, because the only reason why he's doing what he's doing right now is because of her and what she's telling him and all that, right? So he actually gets rid of the rat, and then obviously that's a really just crazy moment for Dama, where she's very stressed out about that, very upset, and yeah, I mean, obviously in a really just hard place overall. And then the Croat shows up, and then they get into this whole argument and all that where, yeah, there's an accident that happens and Dama basically dies, and the Croat doesn't help her at all. He has an opportunity to, but he's just actually, I'm just going to leave it like this. And so that's just, how the episode ends. We do see the reveal at the very end that Negan was the one responsible for getting rid of the rat. And so I'm just I'm thinking about, his idea on the whole thing here. He's probably thinking if I could somehow mess up what's happening there, then yeah, obviously I could actually work with the Croat and we can actually get a lot of stuff done, because I could easily manipulate him, right? And so I think that's where things are going to go wrong here, though. I think that he's not going to be able to, because the Croat killing Dama, I mean, he basically did. I guess you could have an argument that he didn't, but that really, I think, showed him that he has a lot of confidence in himself now, because that was the whole point of it, right? He actually stood up for himself, and he was just no, I am doing everything. You are nothing without me. Everything that we have is because of me. And so I think that for Negan, things are going to be probably a little bit worse. I really do think so. I think that going into the next couple of episodes here, we're going to see a lot of crazy things, and I think that the Croat is going to go absolutely insane. And I just don't think that it's going to be good overall for Negan. And it's one of those things where, maybe it was better if Dama was actually alive, right? And so let's actually get into that idea now. So it was pretty obvious that she died, I think, when you actually see the scene. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, the scene, maybe not entirely, but the trailer afterwards pretty much confirms it, right? Now, the only thing is that there are some scenes that we haven't seen, and there's some scenes of Dama where, we just haven't seen any of that yet, but I feel a lot of that, honestly, just might be stuff that was cut from previous episodes, because I just feel based off of what we saw there and the trailer, it pretty much confirms it, but there's a lot of questions about it. And so does it make sense for Dama to maybe, just, I guess, pretend that she died in order to, I mean, obviously have a big reveal later on this season? Because I've been seeing that response out there, honestly. There's a belief that she could still be alive. And I think for the story, it makes some sense for her, just because I think that, obviously she's going to go in hiding now or something, and then, get her revenge and all of that. And maybe that's a reveal later on this season. But I also just kind of look at it I mean, from what we saw in the trailer, she would have had to have used a walker or something else and did that, right? And I don't know what's going to happen there, like at the very, I guess, beginning of episode 6, because the Croat left, but like people are going to go there right away, right? Like Negan is going to find out. Episode 6 is probably going to begin with all of them running over there, right? So I just feel like it does make a lot of sense that Dama's gone, because I think for the Croat story, it's going to really help build him into a bigger villain. And I think, like, I still think he's going to die at the end of the season. I don't see the character surviving past the season, maybe, but I really feel like they're giving him such a big story right now that they're setting up Bruegel as well, kind of. Like, Bruegel is going to be a really awesome character. I mean, he is already, but he's going to be a really incredible villain. Same with New Babylon, but we'll talk about New Babylon in a different video because, I mean, yeah, they're going to be going into a different place, obviously, but like, they're all still going to be villains, I feel like, for season 3. I think that for the Croat, though, and this group, they're really building up, basically, I think, Bruegel for the most part. Like, I really think that the Croat's going to be doing some, like, crazy stuff. Like, there might be other characters that die, this and that. Maggie maybe kills the Croat, or maybe it's Negan. But it's going to be one of them that does, and I think that that's where the season's likely going to end. There's going to be some other bigger deaths and all that, and then I think going into season 3, we'll see how Bruegel ends up being the villain, I think, for that season, because he's going to be a really big character. Like, episode 5, you know, we saw him a little bit. Episode 4 was a really big episode for him, but, like, he hasn't been, like, the villain yet. Like, he's been a leader that they had to sort of, I guess, deal with, and episode 4 was awesome for that, but episode 5 was like Christos's episode. Like, he's just been a character that's like there. And I think for episode 6, we're going to see a lot more from him. But again, I still think they are building him up for season 3, which is why I think that the Croat is going to be the main villain here for season 2. And that's why I think that with Dama's death, it really does add a lot to, I guess, how scary and I guess terrifying he could actually be, because I do think that, like, honestly, he's one of the most insane characters that The Walking Dead has ever had, and I'm including all shows. I think that they have to be really worried about him, honestly, just because of, I mean, methane, and he's just very smart, and he can really, you know, I guess just, like, you know, plan ahead and think things through a little bit better, and so there's going to be a lot of things that, you know, I guess people are going to be dealing with, and that's one of those things where when it comes to Negan and his family, like, what happens next, right? Does he get the Croat to stop with everything, or does he learn that maybe Dama was lying about all of that? Like, where does it go now? Like, who's going to be the leader? Is it Negan or is it the Croat? And we'll talk about that in the trailer for episode 6, because it does seem like, you know, Negan could be the leader here. But I do think that eventually, I don't know, I just feel like the Croat makes a little bit more sense in the whole thing here. And so for Dama, yeah, I think that she is actually gone. I think the death scene was incredible. I think the whole just ending scene and really the episode was just phenomenal from the character. And I do feel like slightly disappointed over the fact that, you know, Maggie wasn't the one to kill her and that there wasn't more of a confrontation between the characters. But I think that that's something when it comes to stories where you can't always expect the story to go a certain way, right? And I think that with that anyways, with Dama dying and Maggie, like, killing her or not, it doesn't really affect the overall story too much where it's, like, really, really disappointing. It's just that it's something that I probably would have wanted to see, and just to see where the story is going overall. But I still think that that's likely going to happen with Maggie and the Croat. I think that she's going to end up killing him. And then I think, yeah, we'll have to wait and see where that goes. And yeah, like, I really do expect that to happen probably, I'm guessing, in the finale, which, yeah, I mean, we're 3 episodes until, you know, the season's done. And honestly, incredible. I'm so happy with how the season has played out overall. Like, 8 episodes is perfect. It's really awesome. Well, actually, I would say probably more episodes for sure, but I still think 8 episodes, like, at a minimum, you have to do, because it's really, honestly, it's incredible to have what we have right now. But I'm going to talk about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3 next, so definitely post all your thoughts down below on Dama. Do you think she's still alive? And if you think she's gone, just give some thoughts on the death scene and also what you think is going to happen now going forward. And also, do you think the character was just awesome to have on the show? Like, honestly, I likely should do a video on Dama and just talk about the character overall. But yeah, she was an incredible character. But definitely post all your thoughts down below. If you all enjoyed the video, stay tuned for my The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3 video, because yeah, I will be breaking down that teaser trailer. It looked absolutely incredible. And I like the fact that they actually are, like, promoting this show throughout Dead City. It's definitely very smart. Like, they never did this before. That's one thing you have to do if you're having spinoffs and separate characters, is you have to promote the shows like that. You can't just have The Walking Dead just on, because people are going to forget about the other characters and stuff, right? So anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.